Hello Internet, Seth Skorkowski, and today I want to discuss the classic Cyberpunk 2020 adventure, Thicker Than Blood. Written by Alison Brooks and published in 1993 by Atlas Games, Thicker Than Blood offers players something a little different to their CP 2020 campaigns. While I'd played Cyberpunk for several years, the majority of those adventures were either stealing something or protecting something, and in either case, the scenarios pretty much just revolved around combat. We'd been pretty happy with that, but I decided that I wanted to see what all was out there in the way of pre-written scenarios. After scoring a bunch of the Atlas games off of eBay, I was immediately impressed with this module because it was unlike anything I had seen before, yet it was still undeniably cyberpunk. Instead of the usual criminal shenanigans, the characters are tasked with locating a child that's been kidnapped from a prestigious private school. The adventure is purely investigational and makes ample use of characters' non-combat related skills. You know, the ones they always seem to skimp out on. Now, players of investigative style games like Call of Cthulhu or Gumshoe might not find this as amazing as I did, but thrusting my players into a completely different type of adventure was a huge hit. The module is 45 pages, pretty thick, but the investigation can be completed in only a single session. It also provides plenty of character motivations why characters of any class might be tasked with doing this particular job, so it's easy to work into any existing campaign. So players, if you're looking for a totally fresh and fun adventure for your GM to run, tell them to check out Thicker Than Blood. However, from this moment forward, I'm going to be laying out the details of the adventure, and it will be packed with spoilers. So check out a new video to watch, and I hope you enjoy this adventure. Alright, Game Masters, now that the players are gone, let's cut this baby open and talk about all the fun stuff inside of it. Thicker Than Blood has a whole lot to offer and packs a serious punch. First, let's look at the art. It's sufficient. Not the best, but it gets the idea across. Also, there's a lot of it, which I like. I personally get a kick out of all the old-style computer paper look that they gave the printouts. The glory days, the early 90s, when we thought we knew what high-tech 21st century technology would look like. For those GMs who use netrunners, it offers a couple data fortresses for them to crack, but they're not necessary if you don't have netrunner PCs. The game also adds a very human element with moral dilemmas that I hadn't encountered in any cyberpunk scenario before. It also gives a fresh look at cyberpsychosis by presenting a character who's played too many fantasy MMOs and has lost complete touch with reality. Seriously. In 1993, they pretty much nailed what World of Warcraft and Skyrim would do decades later. Creepy. One shortcoming that the adventure has is a shortage of NPC profiles. The module states that there are 20 teachers, but profiles are only given for 5. Now, you can treat the 5 provided teachers as Jace's actual instructors, but you should have 4 to 5 more that you've written and prepared just in case the player characters start asking around. Not a big issue, but GM should prepare. Now, if the idea of running an investigation game intimidates you, you have no need to worry. One of the reasons that I love this scenario is that it offers a lot of tips for game masters that might not have tried this style of game before. In fact, that's one of the reasons why the scenario book is so large. I'm not saying that Atlas Games thought of everything that a player might do. That's as impossible as bending a spoon with your brain. But they did an admirable job of covering the bases. The other reason that this module is so large is because that while the investigation should only take a single session, the module itself will probably take 2 or 3 sessions to complete. The reason for that is because once the PCs have returned the missing Jace to his adopted mother and gotten handsomely paid, they are quickly betrayed and have a hit put out on them by their anonymous employer. This is one of the most cyberpunk twists you can do, and in my experience from running it, it worked beautifully. My players finished the job in a short time, and I told them how impressed I was at how quickly they did it, and that I hadn't expected that, and I just didn't have anything prepared for the rest of the evening. So, since we still had quite a bit of time left in the session, I let the characters play out all their celebrating with their €10,000 buck reward. Then, when the players were cutting loose, partying like rock stars, I had the Antares family strike. They were completely caught off guard because the players honestly believed that the adventure was done and that we were just enjoying a bit of carefree role playing. Haha, suckers! The first session ended with one of the PCs hospitalized after Trauma Team revived them, and everyone slowly realizing that this adventure was far from over. It was freaking beautiful. The second half of the adventure is the PCs tracking down their anonymous employer to stop her before she can manage to kill them. The module offers plenty of tips as to how they can do that, and it does a wonderful job of giving some subtle hints ever since the very beginning. Who said wardrobe and style was a useless skill? Because a successful style check at the beginning of the game is actually one of the best hints. However, the adventure only provides one hired hit squad to deal with the PCs. I suggest that game masters create one or two different assassin teams to use just in case the players start taking too long tracking down their former employer. This should give the players a good chance at action while still playing investigative roles. All in all, I found Thicker Than Blood to be a highly unique cyberpunk adventure and recommend it to any game master. Its refreshing take on the game completely changed how I approached cyberpunk after that. The only other problem is that it's no longer in print. A quick online search found several copies for under $10. I really hope that Atlas Games brings it back as a PDF through DriveThruRPG or the like, because it's a solid adventure and I'd rather give my money to the creators than buy it used. But maybe that's just me. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more videos, please like and subscribe.